Being a student athlete is a position many envy. Between all the awards and all the attention, being a student athlete has a lot of benefits, but behind the scenes, there can be just as much pain as there is pleasure.
I felt like it was my responsibility to be someone else.
Former LSU gymnast Lauren Lee may know that just about as well as anybody else. Lee spent her entire life as a gymnast, so when it was time to commit to a college, she chose Penn State. But what Lee didn't expect was to become one of many gymnasts who would firsthand witness emotional abuse from Penn State coaches.
So the coaches were pretty verbally abusive. There was a lot of body shaming. It was all just negative, and just like kept bashing.
Lee then decided to transfer to LSU. She says that decision was one that helped her tremendously, especially with her mental health.
You know, the coaches here are great. They wanted to know everything that was up with me, and they recommended that I see the sports psychologist here. I met with the sports psychologist 2 to 3 times a week, and that was really helpful for me in terms of getting over that hump that I was like, the only hump that I knew, I guess, I grew up with.
But at first, it was hard for Lee to open up. It wasn't that she didn't want to, she just didn't know how. Like many other competitors, Lee was taught to be victorious. Lee wasn't taught to be vulnerable.
You know, as gymnasts, especially at the gym I went to, we were always taught to like suppress our emotions. I just had to like keep a straight face and like not cry because we would get in trouble for crying or like talking or like breathing, basically. It was tough, and I think it's affected me definitely now. Just, you know, like trying to understand my emotions more is a lot more complicated than like some people for other people.
But it's that kind of mindset that the NCAA is finally trying to get rid of. In 2016, they passed their mental health best practice standards. Their goal? To give recommendations for supporting and promoting student-athlete mental health. The best practices also aim at getting rid of the stigma that discourages student athletes from seeking help.
Society at large around sport, we're in a better place or a good place because there's much more awareness. I think because of sort of that highlighting for the NCAA to take that stand kind of, I think that has created more room for that stigma to be erased and for people to at least just be curious.
There is a turning point starting, but I think it's 50-50 right now. Because there are some people I know that are in denial about their mental health, and some people that want to be open about it and want to seek help for it.
While other schools only have 1 counselor on staff, LSU has 3.
And while most Louisiana universities have to send their athletes to regular counseling centers, LSU has counselors inside of its athletic department.
I do think in a lot of ways, yes, LSU is the exception. We have 3 people. That is very rare. Usually there's 1. We have almost 500 student athletes. So recognizing that's a lot of people to take care of. But I do feel like there are, you know, other universities that maybe haven't yet made it a priority. Why? I'll never know.
And as more schools are improving the way they care for their student athletes' mental health, Lee has this advice stemming from her own personal experiences.
Just to know that they're not alone, and you know, there's help all around you. You just got to reach out to one person, just get it started, and you know, you'll get better. Like, just keep at it.
Reporting for Tiger TV Sports, I'm Dylan Alvarez.